Hey everybody, Chris here. It's been a while since I posted on this channel, so first off, my apologies for not at least giving you a heads up that I wouldn't be posting on this channel for a while, but it was for good reason. I was heavily invested in a big goal I had set for myself to finish 100 5.13's by my 50th birthday. And I achieved that on the morning of my 50th, just barely. And then I decided to write a book about the whole process, which meant I had to go back and look at my entire climbing timeline, my training timeline, my performance timeline, pull out a bunch of the lessons, and I wrote a book about it. And I've approved the proof of that book. The order has been shipped to me as of this morning, so I will be getting the book in the next few days, and I'll be signing copies and shipping them out probably next week sometime. The book is called Adapt, Lessons Learned Climbing 100 5.13's, and essentially it's part narrative, part lessons learned, sort of in a hard truth style, and trying to make sure that I include the pieces of life that can get in the way, that can be an obstacle, can be a challenge, that I think a lot of people can relate to, and how to not necessarily avoid those, but to make it through them. To find your way through them in a way that's going to contribute to not only your climbing, but also your life and happiness in general. I also did all of the illustrations for the book. They're charts, not in the same style as Brendan Leonard from The Hard Truth, but similar, a little more hard-edged, a little less whimsical, more me, I guess. And I've turned those into refrigerator magnets. One is coming free with every pre-order of the book, and there is a pack of 5 of my favorite illustrations from the book that can also be purchased at the same time. So if you want to check that out, it's at powercompanyclimbing.com/adapt, or you can find the link right there in the show notes. But I also want to talk about what's coming on the podcast in 2025. 2024, maybe even 2023 was about exploration and trying new things and sort of figuring out what I wanted this podcast to be. I've started to feel like the podcasting landscape is filling up. I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. I enjoy having a lot of things to listen to. I don't really listen to climbing podcasts, but I listen to hip-hop podcasts a lot. So I enjoy having lots of different voices talking about the subject I'm really interested in listening to. And there's some really great voices out there talking about some entertaining things, some really important subjects, and I'm glad those people are out there. But I think for me, post 2020 and then having a daughter again and being a parent again and a part-time stay-at-home dad has reduced my ability to have the conversations in person. And that's the way I want to have them. That's what I crave having. For the connection, for the getting to know people, that's what I prefer. But it's not what I can do right now, at least not very often. So I don't want to do the straight interview anymore. I've been moving away from that. And I think what I'm finding, especially through doing the Written in Stone podcast, my climbing history podcast, I'm finding that I love putting together stories. I did this with the remix episodes, and I think that's the direction I want to go in 2025, is more like the remix episodes. I think they'll be shorter, but they will also be a series. Instead of 1 hour long remix episode, there might be 3 or 4 20 to 30 minute remix episodes, something like that, that really go deep into a subject that I want to really learn about. I think in the podcast world, in the YouTube world, the way things have gone is that we want to learn in these 1 hour chunks. That's just a single conversation with a person who may be an expert on this or who oftentimes are not an expert on this. And we're trying to pull all these lessons from a 1 hour conversation. For me, that just doesn't work anymore. The conversations can be entertaining, and I appreciate them for that. But if I want to learn about and at the same time teach about a subject, a concept, a philosophy, whatever it is, I need to go in a lot of directions. I need to talk to experts. I need to talk to the people practicing these things in real time, in the real world. I need to look at the research. I need to learn about the theories and philosophies, and then sort of interrogate it, pull it all apart, and put it back together into something that makes sense for how we can apply it to rock climbing. That's what I want to do. And that's where I think I'll go in 2025, both on the YouTube channel as well as here on the podcast. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to completely do away with everything else. There are going to be board meetings still. We're going to continue the What, When, How to Train series and try to do some more of those, especially international episodes. That one was a popular request from our patrons when I did a recent poll to see what it was we should do in the new year with my thoughts, heavily weighing in on that conversation. The patrons will continue to get board meetings every month, as well as the full conversations that I have with people in creating these remix style or deep dive episodes. So the podcast isn't going anywhere. It's just changing. I personally want a higher educational value, higher quality product, even if that means dropping the frequency with which I could be posting. And that's an interesting part of the things that I've been thinking about a lot. I think we've all gotten caught up in this social media world where it's chase the likes, chase the follows, chase the shares, chase the views, chase the listens in the podcast world. And if I put out tons of episodes, I'm going to get more downloads. If I put out really long episodes, I'm going to get more minutes played. That's going to look great on the Spotify Wrapped at the end of the season, but I'm not interested in that. I would rather people walk away feeling like they really learned something. And I heard from a lot of people that the Remix Effort episode was their favorite podcast episode ever. And I can do more of those. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of energy, but I gained as much from it as everyone who listened. And that's where I want to put my time and energy and effort going into the new year, are ways that we can grow together instead of me just chasing what the algorithm tells me I should be chasing. And first, I think I'm going to be starting with goal setting. There's a lot out there about these acronyms, SMART goals and big, hairy, audacious goals and all of these things, ways to set better goals, ways to continue improving and challenging yourself. And I don't necessarily think it's all bullshit, but I think it's simplifying too far. It's removing a lot of the nuance that comes with it. And frankly, I think people are missing a really, really important part of goal setting is that we don't have to set a goal that has a finish line. I think we can set goals where the finish line keeps moving, and that can help us stay satisfied. It can help us stay motivated. For me, it's been a really big part of continuing to keep pushing myself over the years. And I write about this quite a bit in Adapt. It's sort of the thesis of the book is adapting because you've set goals in the right way. So that's where I'm going to start with these deeper dives, remix type episodes, is goals, goal setting, the chase for the goal, all things surrounding goals will likely be the first few months of the year. Now, I think we're going to really launch this probably in February. I've got some loosies, some things I need to sort of gather and put out there that I think are interesting, that I think are important, that I'm going to be putting out in January, and there'll be another episode before the end of the year here. But so expect there to be a few episodes in January, but in February, we're really going to start deep diving into goals and goal setting. All right. If you're interested in checking out the book, it will be shipping next week sometime, assuming that shipment doesn't get lost in the mail somewhere. I don't suspect it will, so it should be shipping next week. You can do that at powercompanyclimbing.com/adapt or click the link right there in your show notes. Another episode's coming in a week or so. Have a great holiday, and I'll see you all soon.
It's time to build power.